This farm is the home of a unique Christian brotherhood of 16 families, the Community Farm of the Brethren, near Kitchener, Ontario. It started with 3 strangers in 1931, 3 men who decided to live as brothers, sharing work and worship in the manner of ancient Christians. Brother Alexander, he was a gardener back then, a vegetable gardener in Windsor. And there was Brother Frederick Kurlitz, a practical and hard-working German immigrant who had learned farming the hard way on the prairies of Saskatchewan. And finally, the late Brother Julius, Julius Kubassek, dreamer, soldier, factory worker. Julius Kubassek was born in Hungary in 1893. He died in Ontario in 1961. As a soldier in World War I, he studied the Bible, became a Christian, and nourished his dream for peace. Peace and a community farm, a place of gentle harmony among children and flowers. After the war, he immigrated to Canada, to Ontario, where, in 1940, he and 2 men who shared his dream started a Christian commune near Kitchener. Together with their families, they rented 375 acres of land with a big stone house. 21 men, women, and children of English, German, and Hungarian descent. The Community of the Brethren. You can see it on the hill there south of Highway 97 near the village of Washington. And if you stop at the village store, he will tell you. The storekeeper will tell you as he told me. They live like a song up there. They have grown. The Community Brethren have grown from 21 members in 1940 to 96 members in 1967. From 6 families sharing 375 acres to 16 families sharing 1,200 acres. Yet, no one among them owns anything individually. Everything is owned by the community together. Their belief is simple and biblical. A true steward of God will not labor for his own benefit, but for his brethren as well. Family ties here are strong and intimate. Each has separate and private living quarters, a curious harmony of old world charm and communal tradition dependent upon a competitive society, the Kitchener market, and the gasoline tractor. The routine business of this community is managed by 3 members elected by majority vote. Everyone votes except the children. Everyone works except the children. These youngsters have no radio or TV in their homes. They simply make their own fun and entertainment. Their playground is 1,200 acres of hills, fields, and streams with no traffic. Mama makes most of their clothing and the farm shoemaker their shoes. They have their own separate school, 8 grades, modern and Ontario accredited. Despite the religious and collective character of their community, these children are delightfully curious, healthy, and aggressive. They play together or alone, whether it's fishing, making mud pies, playing with dolls or the dog, or in this case, painting the house where the pet bunny rabbits live. Mr. Green Duck is a newcomer to the community, a little frightened, but then so are the girls. And then, of course, there are the geese. Most geese are just feathers and fat. Not these. These are brethren geese, the so-called greaseless geese of table and fable, a hybrid developed by the brethren themselves. Lean and trim birds with very little fat. The brethren started with 8 geese in 1940. Today they sell thousands.
If you call a goose a funny fickle fellow, then you've surely hit the nail upon the head. Except, of course, the goose is not a fallow. No, take a gander, I'm a goose, is what she said. If you call a goose the name a stupid creature, what you say of her may very well be true. But the chances are that she would have you beat, sir. Did you hear, oh dear, the way she spoke of you? There's no harm in a word if you were smiling, and the feeling in your heart is smiling too. Otherwise, little birds are just compiling little things to say about you. There's no harm in a word if you were smiling, and the feeling in your heart is smiling too. Otherwise, what's a goose to do but gossip, telling tales, such tales about you? If you call a goose the name a silly sister, there's a possibility it may be true. But I think upon your ear there'd be a blister if you heard the words your name was mentioned too. She nodded her head and then she said that she liked you. Me too.
The brethren do not depend upon geese alone. They work as welders, mechanics, carpenters, and engineers, rebuilding heavy machinery, boilers, diesel engines, and large hydro generators for commercial customers. They built their own modern school building, hydro, central heating, waterworks, and sewage disposal systems. They maintain their own dairy, their trucks, cars, farm equipment, such as this ice-making machine.
Oh, that one's too small. Bring me a bigger one. Down there. Can't you find it?
And of course,
Here we are.
with 46 children on the farm, there's an expert supervisor for each job. This is the community's modern grain elevator and feed mill, constructed and maintained by the brethren themselves. Children among the brethren are regarded as an heritage of the Lord, a strength in the right arm, a beauty in the soul. Father and son, mother and daughter work, play, and pray together. These young men range in ages from 14 to 20, yet they are never treated as a group, and the brethren never used the term teenager. At 14, they simply begin sharing the business responsibility of the community. Before they are 21, each will try his hand at every job on the farm. In addition, he will become highly skilled in at least one trade. Meanwhile, he will study the New Testament and learn the philosophy of the brethren. The Lord will provide, provided. Work, and the earth will bring forth wonders and wonderful things. Share, and your love will make the loaf go round to multiply the food for stable and table. Begin every chore with prayer. Behold, my brethren, the love of our Lord is in the earth and in the people of the earth, in every breath of life, in every leaf and blade, bringing forth beauty, peace, and understanding forever. There is no separate church house in this community. The religion of the brethren is simply a way of life. Using modern machines and homemade soap, Rachel, Elizabeth, and Johanna did the week's laundry for 51 adults and 45 children in 2 hours. In this scene, Susanna, Julie, and Esther hang the wash to dry. They could have used the automatic dryers in the laundry room, but then, it's like Mama Kubassek was saying, country sunshine makes the clothes smell sweeter. Julie, 14, is already an expert homemaker, cooking, baking, making her own clothes, and singing in the community choir. Susanna is likewise talented and responsible in the fields, kitchen, nursery, or playing the organ at the community school. Susanna and Julie and the other young people at the farm are second-generation Canadians with a rather unique background. Together they represent 16 different families of 3 distinct national origins: English, German, but mostly Hungarian, yet they were each born up there in the old stone house or among the private apartments, and they've never lived anywhere else. Mind you, they travel sightseeing and visiting other communities where naturally they meet boys and girls. And one day, for no reason at all, the women folk start cleaning and washing because there's going to be a wedding at the farm. Dresses, trousers, and diapers on the line. The way of life goes on, repeating itself. The farm has its own nursery school, storybooks, songs, and games while Mama's making feather pillows or helping Papa get the geese ready for market. Mothers and young girls each takes her turn teaching and learning how to care for children. Motherhood is a high calling among the community brethren. The total farm equipment of the community in 1940 was one old Ford tractor, 18 horses, and 21 people. Today, no horses, 96 people, and everything mechanized and modern, except, of course, for that one ancient chore, weeding the garden. Behold, my brethren, our Lord has warmed the seed in the fields, bringing forth a harvest of grain. Let us therefore rejoice and sing our praise and thanksgiving to the glory of his holy name.
Sowing in the morning, sowing seeds of kindness, sowing in the noontide, and the dewy is waiting for the harvest and the time of reaping. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheep. Sowing in the sunshine, sowing in the shadows, fearing neither clouds nor winter's chilly breeze. By and by the harvest and the labor ended, we shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep, bringing in the sheep. We shall come rejoicing, bringing in the sheep.
The operator of this grain harvesting machine is Philemon Kubassek, Phil, son of the late brother Julius. Phil sings bass in the community choir. He is also the community butcher, yet he's only 18. Phil and his friend, Isaac Ince, also 18, are typical young brethren. They were born in the big stone house on the hill. They went to school in the community. They have already traveled in Canada and the United States by car, bus, train, and jet, and they'll travel more, for business and pleasure, more than the average young farmer. Meanwhile, they plan to marry, raise a family, and live their lives in a community where religion is a way of life, brotherhood and daily bread, eternal realities. Flour, milk, and butter, homemade bread for the community table and the Kitchener market. Cakes and pies, too. And, of course, cookies enough to please 45 children, not counting the men folk. Noon and the pigeons fly, protesting the shriek of the dinner whistle. There's no protest from the gardener, Brother Fred, who spent the morning hoeing the vegetables for sale at the Kitchener market. As for Peter, the youngest member of the community, he's been at nursery school all morning, and naturally he's hungry. But there's a little blue pigeon up there, the one whose mother ate too many grapes last year. Of course, it's only a fairy tale. He's blue because God made him blue. To the children in this community, the grown-ups too, God makes a lot of things provided they help, and then they shall come rejoicing from the fields. Dinner at noon, country style, and the children eat first while their parents are coming in from the barns and fields. With 4 cultures in their background, Hungarian, German, English, and Canadian, wives and daughters of the brethren are excellent cooks. Their menus varied, hearty, and wholesome. Soup, salads, meat, vegetables, and fruit. Almost everything comes from the farm itself, homegrown and home-cooked. Don't forget to brush your teeth. Remember, if you don't brush your teeth, they will turn to gold. And naturally, you clean your plate, and then back to school.
There's no way to recognize a common noun. And there's 3 different kinds of common nouns. You don't need to take the 3 in grade 7 or 8, but we might as well name them. Give me a common noun, any noun, Arnold.
River.
River. Give me a corresponding proper noun for river, Magdalene.
The Ottawa River.
Yes. Now, in the common nouns, I'm going to mention table, and I'm going to mention book. I'm going to mention girl and boy. You know what I'm pointing to or what I'm talking about. What kind do we call that?
Now and then, for no reason at all, except that the community is growing, someone takes the bulldozer and goes to clearing new land. On this particular day, Brother Timothy was sitting in the driver's seat. He had just got himself engaged to a pretty little dark-eyed girl from Alberta. After harvest, there'd be a wedding with a honeymoon at Niagara Falls and a trip to Western Canada. The community is growing, but then so are the fields, gardens, and orchards, all remote from the rush hour world, yet very much involved in the eternal challenge of brotherhood and bread. When the harvest is over, there's more time to sow and mend, knit and talk, while young Thomas takes his turn cutting the grass with a tractor, a vehicle perhaps not nearly so noisy as young Kathy's tricycle. When young Thomas was putting the lawnmower back in the shed, he learned why Brother Timothy hadn't moved the big tractor. A new family had moved into the toolbox. 9 more reasons to get busy and tidy up around the pet houses. Yes, and there ought to be a better place for the pet ducks to go and have a drink. The community farm of the Brethren, a Christian commune of 16 families up there on the hill 12 miles west of Kitchener. The dream of a soldier in the trenches of World War I. A harmony of people who share work and faith in the belief that the Lord will provide, provided. If you go along Highway 97 in Ontario and you come to the village of Washington, he will tell you, the storekeeper will tell you, as he told me, they live like a song up there.